Hey, this is Rick from Woodley's Garden Center. This time of the year, now that hunting season is over, college games are coming to an end, men are arming themselves with chainsaws and hand saws and heading to the gardens, and that's when we start getting a lot of calls from wives saying, please tell him what to prune, how to prune it, and when to prune it, and not to commit crape murder, which is so common around here. So kind of a rule of thumb is on what you should be trimming this time of the year: anything that blooms in the summertime, butterfly bushes, ornamental grasses, crepe myrtles, any type plant that blooms in the, say, late May into the summertime, you want to trim it right now. A rule of thumb is to take at least a third of the foliage off if you desire that much to come off. Second rule of thumb, if it blooms in springtime, azaleas, camellias, forsythia, loropetalums, any of those plants there, you want to wait till after they bloom before you do any pruning on them. Trees like willow oaks and crepe myrtles and red maples and all can be trimmed this time of the year to limb them up, to allow more sun and air circulation down near the ground, let more sun in, and then just to limb them up. And any branches that you see crossing inward, is you want to take those off so they're not rubbing against each other and causing wounds that insects to get in. One thing that I have noticed this year doing a lot of consultations, and the cold weather that we had, I've seen a lot of damage on pittosporum, gardenias, oleanders, and azaleas. So if you start to see in any of those plants limbs brown on it or whatever, just out of the blue, look down that stem and see if you see any split bark, and if you do, cut that bark off, because it's going to die anyway, and you might have to do some heavier pruning as we go on, get into the summertime and the stress of the heat. See right there? See the bark split in here? That's what we're going to be experiencing on azaleas and gardenias. If you have limbs that start turning like that there, just look down the stem and you'll see that split bark in there. When trimming the crepe myrtle, what you want to do is to any inward growing branches or any thick branches in here, you want to thin them out, and then you want to create kind of an umbrella shape to the top of it and limb it up from the bottom. So on this particular one right here, you'll see I'm going to cut a few of these branches away to allow more air circulation, which is really critical in the summertime, because sometimes crepe myrtles can have aphids and whiteflies, which in return causes sooty mold on the leaf of it. So by having good air circulation and good branching, you can accomplish a couple things. One, by just letting better air flow through the crepe myrtle, and this also helps prevent some of those diseases. So you can see some of these branches here are crossing, so I'm cutting them off. And always when you're trimming, especially trees, cut as close as you can to the bark. Don't leave a little stub sticking out there, because then you'll start suckling and you'll have more problems than you want. So there you go right there. That's kind of opened this up, taking some of these lower branches off, and allow more air to move inward, and then the top of the tree has got that kind of umbrella shape to it. So that's how you trim a crepe myrtle. Don't murder it. You can lightly prune the top if you want to. It's not necessary to get it blooming. Now I'm going to show you what a properly pruned crepe myrtle looks like as it matures, and then show you one that has been crepe murdered. This is what a proper crepe myrtle trimming looks like as a tree matures, and this is what one looks like when it is crepe murdered. And as always, you can bring any of your questions or concerns to either of Woodley's locations, or send us a message on Facebook. We'll see you in the gardens at Woodley's.